Well, hello again. 24 hours. Just rips by, doesn't it? We'll all be dead soon, let's be honest. And the older you get, the faster it goes. It's like water in a sink when you pull the plug. It swirls and it swirls, and then I'm on deck. My parents are on deck. Well, they're actually... Yeah, that's another story. Anyhow, how are you, folks? Memorial Day weekend, long weekend for you people who actually have jobs, Monday through Friday. For us comics, it's no fucking different. We don't... Halloween, Ramadan. Doesn't it's all the same. Ramadan. Thanksgiving. I'm gigging on Friday night. Really? But it's the holiday. Yeah, I know. I make a third of my pay on the weekend. I gotta do it. That was true before I started selling weed. But listen, kids, I'll tell you. How are you?
Good.
We got not talking to you. I'm talking to them. I'll tell you when to chime in. Jesus Christ! I'm honest to God. I'm gonna snap right now. Look at the fucking CNN. I'm gonna throw a handful of shit at the TV. Hit Wolf Blitzer right in the face. Keep it up, Wolf. Keep digging for nothing, you silly. Oh, you're embarrassing yourselves. Honest to God. Ooh, going after Jared Kushner. Yes. I'm sure he spent a ton of time in St. Petersburg. Give me a effing break. Anyways, how are you, folks? Long weekend. You should be drinking by now or getting out of work. Took me, let me just let you people in the Midwest in a little secret. I live about 36 miles north of here, and that should be about a 36-minute ride because 98% of it's highway. How about an hour and 18 minutes to get in here? So welcome to New York. Traffic cones everywhere. Retarded people cutting you off. People from we don't know where and fucking vans hanging out the window. And just the city doesn't work anymore. I always say this phrase, it doesn't work. It's broken. It's broken. And when you drive in the city, they have they have two lanes. They have one for cars and a bus lane. The bus lane is on the right. I'm in the car lane. I want to make a right at a light. What do? I don't know, but I got a picture. They sent it to me. It was a warning that I was in the bus lane. Well, how do I make a fucking right? Mr. de Blasio, you dink, with your city bikes. Guy wants to make this place look like Beijing. Fucking Nimrod. You got fucking people coming at you on bikes, and an Asian guy in his late 80s. He's got a bucket of fucking boneless ribs on a 90-year-old Quinn in a basket. Giving me the bird. He's trying to get the ribs to... Oh, goodness gracious. Heloise. Are you talking to me, Andy?
No.
Oh. Andy was doing some type of gang gestures. Hi, folks. 866-969-1969. On the show tonight, a legend, and he is a legend, and you can ask any young comic, old, anybody that comes to New York City, whether they move here from Iowa, Los Angeles, Vermont, it doesn't matter. They meet Colin Quinn, and they latch on to him because he's just not only one of the best comics ever to do this, but, you know, smart as a whip, has the wisdom of a 106-year-old woman, and has done more from Louis C.K. to Amy Schumer to me to Andy, to anybody that comes here, people who are in trouble on alcohol. I mean, the guy's like a saint. There's this Irish thing about him. I don't know what it is. He's given me more advice. I actually asked him about my wife before I got married, whether I'd do it or not. And that's the one time he fucked up. What? No, he is just ask anybody about him. I mean, Manny Dwarman, the late Manny Dwarman, who owned the Comedy Cellar, who was himself like a sooth when it came to young. He was just, and to this day, the Comedy Cellar, just Colin Quinn is the guy. And like I said, other than put his talent aside, just my closest friend in the business, which isn't saying much. I got about 6 friends in this business total out of the 8,000 people I know. It's a very artsy, faggy business. Look, I was a jock. They really didn't accept me. You know, I sit at the table and laugh at this silly shit. They're talking about fucking sci-fi movies, and I'm giving the finger behind their back going, you fucking nerdy assholes. I'm glad I beat you up in high school. You had it coming. But Quinn sort of, you know, Quinn likes sports, and he's from Brooklyn, and, you know, I mean, and but he's a little too artsy for me, too, sometimes. He's so goddamn smart, and every time I have a problem in life, I'll call him. And seriously. And a lot of people feel that way about him. Okay, let me get my lips off his ass. And Monday, we're going to be off on Memorial Day. You can catch our Best of the Week episode that night during our regular time, or listen, on demand if you want. Also, you can now follow the show live on Twitter as of today, at the Paolo Show SXM. That's DIPAOLO, or as my grandfather used to say, DIPAOLO. That's how I used to say it. And I used to go, quit being a dumb greaseball. And it hit me. So, yeah, at the Paolo Show SXM. And you can catch me and Big J Okeson next Thursday, June 1st at the Seneca Resort and Casino, the Bears Den in Niagara Falls, New York. Friday, June 2nd, I'll be at Ha Comedy Club in Yonkers. And then Friday and Saturday, June 9th and 10th, Hilarities in Cleveland. If you want ticket information or check out my tour dates, go to nickdip.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Nick DiPaolo. Enough of this social media shit. I wish I was born in 1811. I'm so fucking tired of giving out addresses. And is this ever going to change?
Nope.
What do you mean nope? You don't think so?
I don't think it will. Social media is here to stay.
No. I know that, Andy. Hold on. First of all, I was asking the audience.
Okay.
That's how I get calls. But listen, if you want to answer, that's fine. What I'm asking is it always going to be blah, blah, blah.com punching in addresses? Aren't people going to be laughing at us 50 years from now that we had to do this? Like when I was up at University of Maine, I had a computer class. We actually used punch cards. You physically, like Brendan doesn't even know what I'm talking about. Hey, some broads just walked by. Did you see that?
Yeah.
How was that?
They were good. You missed them on the first pass.
I'm fucking married. What am I going to do? Go out and say hi. Colin Quinn's going to be here. We're going to live off his juice. God help us. What the hell was I talking about? Yeah, so check out my website, nickdip.com. You can buy a sweatshirt and a hat, and then I'll take that money and buy my wife some chicken tenders. I'll take her to Fuddruckers. I show her a good time. You know why?
I don't care. My jokes don't go over. I don't care. Everybody, I don't care. He does not care. I don't care.
Ooh. Yes, I was telling Andy, my producer, I was listening to Michael Savage. I think Mike's his first name.
Yeah.
He's like a conservative guy. He's a syndicated, very famous radio guy. And he was doing his show today, and he's very good. I mean, he's been on the radio forever, but nobody was calling in because it's Memorial Day weekend. And I've done enough radio to know there's some days it just doesn't. And he was making me laugh because he was jumping all over the place like I was last week. He'd start a story, and then he's like, nobody's calling. Then he go into a personal anecdote. I had dinner at an Italian restaurant, blah, blah, blah. And then he started talking about transsexuals, and then he jumped back to and I know that feeling many times. But then I was telling that story, and Lou Witzke, who works here, who's been around already a long time. No, it wasn't Lou. It was who's the other guy in the office? Jacob said, well, but drive time. It's more in L.A., everybody's in a car going to wherever they're going, probably Mexico. And he goes, this should be the best show, that you do. I'm like, well, maybe numbers-wise, but as far as I go, I have no idea. But it was funny listening to him scramble, a professional radio guy who's like in the Hall of Fame, and just like going, where the fuck are the phone? Yes, sir. Oh, well, it is Memorial Day, folks. So if you see somebody here in New York, it's what they call Fleet Week. So there's sailors and Marines and from all branches of the service walking around, especially the sailors. The girls love it, and the gay guys. It's a big weekend for them. A lot of smooching and. Yeah, you'll be at the Comedy Cellar, I remember, and you'd look down, and it's like McHale's Navy in the front. They got their white things on, and Captain Binghamton's on the front row. But the broads love it. A lot of handsome young guy. I was walking behind a guy on the way here, like a Marine fucking guy, V-back. I bought him a slice of pizza. Nothing happened. I don't know. I mean, I'm all for that shit, but it is Memorial Day, so if you see anybody from the service, thank them, and,
From the halls of Montezuma, of Tripoli, we
That's right. And I thank the men and women, seriously, who have given the ultimate sacrifice so jerk-offs like me can sit here and shoot my mouth off.
Yes.
And again, we brought this up at the end of the show. This is what separates us from the rest of the shitty countries that dot the earth, okay? And so many people don't appreciate it, which makes me sick to my stomach. 866-969-1969. You know who you are. You people who are trying to shut down speech on campus. Fucking far-left goo gobblers. 866-969-1969. And I got a funny Memorial Day little anecdote. In 5th grade, I had a teacher, Mrs. Lawoma, and her son died. He was a Green Beret, died in action. And so Memorial Day was a big effing deal to her. And she would put on a Memorial Day play, and she would have us rehearsing that thing for like weeks, like we're doing Miss Saigon. And it was unbelievable. I still remember her. She had short blonde hair, deep voice. She had calves like a speed skater. She actually had great legs. I remember in 5th grade going, oh, fucking great legs. Kind of creepy, but she was real, into the patriot thing. Memorial Day was huge for her because, like I said, she lost her son. He was a Green Beret. My sister had Mrs. Lawoma. A couple of my sisters did. Then I did, and we did a Memorial Day play, and she actually had 2 Green Berets, and we did this play, but there was three of us playing Green Berets. So one of us had to wear a Girl Scout hat inside out because it looked like a Green Beret. And guess who could pick to wear that? You don't think I was fucking scarred emotionally? I was tortured. My buddies are doing, they're doing some military scene, and I'm in the back. I should be selling Thin Mints to people door to door, and it really. I argued with her for like 15 minutes.
Well, yeah.
And she had a certain way about it. She got me in a headlock and wanted to. But I'll never forget that. I had to wear a Girl Scout hat when my 2 buddies were wearing Green Beret, actual Green Berets. And boy, did that traumatize me. And but she was. She would make us rehearse that thing, like I said, like it was a movie, and unbelievable. And how can you blame her? She lost her son. I'm guessing, I'm trying to do the math now. 5th grade. How old am I in 5th grade? 31, that's right. No, I'm 11 and 60, 70, so that's 1973. So her son was probably Nam? I don't know if I'm doing the math right. I can't do the math. The thing is, he was a Green Beret. He lost his life, and she took it dead serious. And I remember all the parents sitting there crying. She would have him. I remember this kid, Alan Starr, this little kid. They had him singing the song "My Buddy." Have you ever heard the song "My Buddy"? It's about losing a buddy, and kid's in 5th grade singing about his friend getting blown up in the war. And all the parents are bawling and shit. And I remember one lady fainting. It was like 110 in the auditorium, and her falling off the bleachers and banging her head. That was kind of funny. But I'll never forget that. I had to wear a Girl Scout hat, and I think it scarred me. But I these guys really do. When I went to Afghanistan, you guys want to appreciate the military. I did some USO shows, went to Afghanistan with Artie Lang and Baba Booey and Attell and Florentine. And we went over there, and you see how the soldiers live. Everything's just thrown up plywood barracks and bare minimum.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And you go, oh my God. And it's 117 in the desert. And literally, I told you, we did a show and they warned us. They said there's a septic tank. It's like a lake of shit where all the barracks, they made it. And they said, when you're on stage tonight, you might get it was like somebody hit me in the face with a pile of shit. And these guys deal with it every day, and they have shitty lockers and just the bare minimum. Just that part. And that's the good part. I'm not even talking about them risking their lives to die and defend what we're doing. But when you see, I mean, and it's not just all poor. There's a lot of, poor guys from the South or whatever, but there's a lot of people, not like Charlie Sheen in Platoon. I don't know. Well, probably there are, but there's a lot of smart guys that go into the military that believe, what this country's about, and that was humbling, man.
Very much so.
And then we do we did Japan, and I told you about that. I come off stage. I was actually getting Marines nervous. Colin goes on, Paolo, only guy that can make a Marine. And they explained rules of engagement to me and shit. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, as far as political correctness and what they couldn't do. It's the guys that fight for a living. It's fucking sickening. But Japan, that was unbelievable. And Guantanamo Bay, I did Guantanamo Bay. And they told us, we went up in a guard tower, and you can see the other guard tower on the other side, actual Cuba. And they go, don't like flash anybody the bird or whatever, or you're going to get shot right in the fuck. They told us before we went up in the, but the Afghanistan thing was the best. We're in a C-130, one of those giant ones that open from the back and they load shit in. And we're flying in the middle of the night. And they let me and Artie get up in the cockpit. And the guys are like 10, 15 years younger than us. And I'm like, what the fuck? And they're just laughing like they're driving a Buick. Yeah. And I'm shitting my pants. Going, these guys are more man than I will ever friggin' be. It's crazy. And then the assault choppers and we got a Black Hawk helicopter. We got to shoot the machine gun. I got in the gunner seat. So did Artie. While we were flying over the, and going, this is, and I put it up on my website, but meanwhile, I'm also going, it's real fun when nobody's shooting at you. It's all fucking shits and giggles. But, you got to respect these guys and gals that not everybody does. And I understand that too. I don't understand, but I'm just saying, it's when you experience that life, you're like, oh boy, they really are. And they got families at home. They got wives and kids and does anything move you more when you're watching a Yankees game or a Red Sox game and they have like the wife and kids on the field and they surprise them with a husband?
I lose it every time.
Is that unbelievable?
I lose it every time.
It is unbelievable. You lose it because the Yankees,
that's
mediocre.
Not the reason.
No, I know it really is.
I went over there over Christmas and New Year's.
Where'd you go?
We did a military tour for
in Jersey. Nice going.
We did Turkey, Jordan, and Egypt.
Did you really?
And the guys were so
all
thankful.
allies, but all right.
They were so thankful, our boys, that we were there for that.
Of course they
time.
were.
And, it made me tear up because they were so thankful. They going, we got to be here, but you guys don't. And that means the world to us.
Yeah.
It's very humbling, as you said.
And you go, but we're leaving in a week. You guys are here and,
Well, the best thing I've ever done, though.
I heard that. I saw on CNN. Wolf Blitz ahead you on, did he? 866-969-1969. Let's go to Mike on line 3. Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, Nick? Great show, pal. It's nice having a change of pace in this time slot.
Thank you. I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, and I just wanted to kind of touch base with you on the thanking a veteran during Memorial Day. I can only speak for Marines because I'm a Marine. We don't want to be thanked. Yeah, we don't want to be thanked on Memorial Day. If you want to thank us during Memorial Day, buy us a beer and say, hey, this is to your pals that have gone before.
Okay. That's actually makes more sense. My dad's a Marine, by the way.
Yeah, Semper Fi.
It's right. He didn't see any action. It was like in the 50s, whatever. He's at camp, but he was at Camp Lejeune, and I have the welts on my head to prove he's a Marine. And
excellent. Back of the head, though, right?
Yeah, the back of the head, yes. But, hey, Mike, thank you for your service, and you're absolutely right. Thank the people that went before you. So
yeah, can I give you a quick story about Robin Williams?
Absolutely.
I was we were in Casablanca, Morocco. We brought a couple of our ships in, and it was to celebrate the 50th anniversary of U.S. forces landing in northern Africa during World War II. Mm-hmm. And Robin Williams just happened to be there for some reason. He showed up at the bottom of the gangplank on the Iwo Jima.
No kidding.
Requested permission to come aboard, and the day officer said, well, come on aboard. And they were trying to usher him up onto the flight deck where all the ceremonies were with the officers and the dignitaries. And Robin Williams said, no, I want to go talk to the troops.
Oh, I love it.
And laying in the bunk, just got off of guard duty. Here comes Robin Williams walking into a 180-man berthing area.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was awesome. But and the reason I wanted to kind of touch that, but to honor him, but also to say that when you guys come over and you do the trips and everything, we just really appreciate you guys too.
Well, it's, obviously it's the least we can do.
Absolutely.
Especially in what we do for a living, Mike. 30 years I've been shooting my mouth off all over the place. And you can't do that. And you can't even do it in Canada anymore. I know comics who get arrested, get fined and stuff. So, and the people that don't appreciate that make me nuts. So, big thanks to you.
Thank you, Mike.
And for your service. And thanks for calling the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you guys keep doing what you're doing. It rocks.
Thanks, brother. It's Mike from Utah. It's a good point. Memorial Day, is to celebrate the people who, like I said, gave the ultimate sacrifice. Veterans Day is a different deal. But, yeah, it was so humbling to go over there. By the way, in a few minutes, we're going to have the legend Colin Quinn in here, and he's got a couple specials. This guy pumps out, and I'm talking, look, a lot of comics pump out an hour a year, but not to the quality that this guy does. And to watch him at a place like the Fat Black Pussycat, you want to see a master at work. He's got his New York Story and Unconstitutional. They're both streaming on Netflix. And you can follow Colin Quinn at I Am Colin Quinn. And he'll be in a few minutes. So like I said, probably my closest buddy in the business. Feelings might not be mutual, but no doubt I'm on the phone with him every night talking about something. Let's go to Deidre. I think it says Deidre on line 2. Deidre?
Yes.
Hey, welcome.
How are you?
Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I'm just calling to tell you how I appreciate. We have a lot of celebrities these days that really make our soldiers feel like they're not being appreciated.
Right.
And I have 4 kids in the military.
Wow. God bless you.
3 of which served in 2 in Afghanistan, 1 in Iraq.
Wow.
And I have a younger son who's currently in the Naval Academy down in Annapolis.
My goodness.
So he's gonna be an officer. But I just wanted to quick call to tell you thanks and to know that there's people out there that are showing some appreciation for what their services meant to this country.
Well, you know what? And thank you.
My mom and my dad were both in the military.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Deidre, thank you.
Thank you, Deirdre.
For producing such fine men. And
women. My daughter is in there too.
Oh, your daughter too.
Yeah, 3 boys and a girl.
Wow. Did you do any service, Deidre?
I did not. I only did service as an educational administrator. That was enough service for me.
Yeah, that isn't. That's like combat today. But Deidre, thank you so much, and that's a fine family you got there. You should be proud.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay. Have a good day. Night. Okay.
Take care. 866-969-1969. How much time we get? One more or no?
Yeah, we can get one more in.
I got 1 minute. Brian in Wisconsin. I got 1 minute, Brian. Go ahead.
Hey, Nick. Glad your show's on XM now.
Thank you, brother.
Something I was just thinking about, I was having a conversation with somebody earlier today who was given that usual BS line about how the terrorists are not Muslims.
Right.
Well, okay, liberals use identity politics all the time. I identify as, I'm a woman, but I identify as a man, or vice versa, things like that.
Right.
Okay. These terrorists are identifying themselves as Muslims.
That's a great point. Yep. That's a great point. I had never thought of that. Try getting out of that one.
Okay, so anytime anybody, you, yourself, your listening audience, anytime some asshole says that the terrorists are not Muslims, well, fuck you. They're identifying themselves as the true Muslim, so I'm going to honor that and call them a Muslim.
There you go. You don't want to be politically incorrect.
Exactly. Anyway,
all right,
thank you,
Brian.
Nick. Love the show. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Brian. And we're not lumping all Muslims in, by the way. He's talking about the extremists who are blowing up shit. But you can't have it both ways. When a Christian blows up an abortion clinic, he's a Christian, at least according to the news. So, I mean, I get what he's saying. We're going to take a break. We got the great Colin Quinn coming in. So if you want to call in, we're gonna have a lot of fun with my buddy Colin Quinn. 866-969-1969. Back after this. Is that from New York Story?
Yeah.
Why don't I must have been laughing through that one. I don't remember that one.
Yeah, that section I call the world's longest setup.
Anyways, Colin Quinn with us, New York Story and Unconstitutional, both on Netflix
You
right
didn't
now.
tell me your producer was Clay Matthews.
He looks like him, doesn't he? It's like 6. What are you, 6 what, Andy?
6'4".
6'4", 250. If I had that, I'd be breaking wedges for the Jets, even today at
forget it.
55.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Or I'd be dead, like you said, in your neighborhood at 11.
If DePaulo grew up in Brooklyn or the Bronx, he would have been in jail for life or dead. He would have been a made guy when he would have been the youngest made guy in history.
Well, no, wait a minute. I noticed you changed it a little bit. At least you gave me life. Before you said I'd be dead, which
Well,
is a
dead
nice
is
way
what
of
I
calling
meant.
me a punk.
No,
Because
not at all.
What do you mean? Punks get whacked at fucking 16.
No, I was saying DePaulo would have been a made man. He would have broke the record. He would have made it 15.
Please, I got about as much.
Born to do it.
I got about as much street smarts as fucking
What's that? This guy.
Modi. Anybody know Modi, folks? Wake
I
up
told
out
you
there.
I once introduced him to Chaz Palminteri, and I go, Chaz, what do you think of me? He goes, oh, he's angry.
Chaz said that about me? Yeah. Really? Maybe because when I put my hand out, he just looked at it. No, he didn't. He actually...
He's a great guy.
He's a great guy.
No, he liked you, but he goes, oh, he's angry.
Oh, because it was after my set, I'm guessing, right? It wasn't anything I did in the green room,
No, it
right?
was
I didn't
Bowman
kick a
Carter.
sandwich over or something.
No, just talking to you.
Just talking to me?
Yeah.
That's caffeine. People get confused. You show me a happy comic, I'll show you a shitty one. Okay?
Good point.
Get that smile off your face.
Well, back in the old days, the friendliest, the biggest hacks were always the most friendliest guys you'd meet. You know what I mean? Because-
Yeah, I'm picturing one right now from the New York area. I won't go too specific. Big shit-eating grinning. It's opening for Robert Goulet in Vegas. Am I hitting a nerve?
Yes.
Hey, folks, 866-969-1969. 866-969-1969. I want to call in because we know you're a big lover of Quinn. Everybody, I was bragging about your wisdom when it comes to life, and that part of your intro, I said comics who come here that are new end up glomming on to you because you have more wisdom than, all the 20 comics I know. What is that, an Irish thing? What is that?
I don't even know what it is. I mean, but I mean, I like to expound. Like if people ask my advice, I'm like, well, it's an interesting question. So, yeah.
I said, even before I got married, I asked Colin about my wife. It's the only mistake he made in the 20 years I've known. And of course, my wife
is, yeah. She's the funniest non-comedian in the world.
She's
not just
got
woman,
good taste.
funniest non-comedian.
She's got good taste.
She really does.
She predicted Louis before Louis was Louis.
Right.
That was her favorite, And then Big Fluffy. So I don't know. She's 1 for 2. No. But I was talking about, like, let's bring up my Joe List, our friend Joe List.
Yeah.
Who I had him opening.
Jerk.
I
said it.
He was a. I saw him at the Comedy Connection Boston. I go, there's something likable about him. He's got a nice way about him, but I didn't know this guy could, he was like a fall down drunk.
Yeah.
And I notified you. I think you had a few words with him. I don't work with him for like 6 months. And then I say, I'll give him another shot. And this guy, after talking to you, this guy's posture is different. His confidence on stage, and he just stopped with the bad habits. What did you do to him?
Well, I didn't do it. I mean, but he did it. But I mean,
that's a good point.
He also, he became. But even when you work with him, you wouldn't. I can't imagine you letting any hack work with you more than twice without just getting rid of them because it would just drive you nuts.
Yeah,
you've got taste and you just don't fall for that. But I mean, but Joe List was a great example of a guy that everybody goes, what a shift this guy just made. What a shift.
Yeah, no, I couldn't believe it. I took like 6 months without working with him, and then I had some gig in the middle of Montana or something, some theater, and I had him come out, and I hadn't seen him work in like 6 months.
Right.
I almost didn't recognize, and he had a whole, the first year or two I was working when he was doing pretty much the same set, he had a whole, like a new 25 minutes. Yeah. He was standing up straight.
Yep.
I couldn't. How do you?
He had a whole Montana hat. He came out with a cowboy hat. I remember that. And he kicked up his heels. He goes, "Howdy, folks. I hope you're all hankering to see Mr. DePaoli." And he went into it.
I couldn't friggin' believe. Yeah, but
that was all of us when you think about it. We all had that shift where one day people go, "Oh, you're a comic now." We just didn't know it because it was us when it was happening.
What do you mean?
I mean, when you started, people were like, "Oh, this guy's got something." But then one day, somebody saw you, whether it was Sweeney, Gavin, or one of those guys in Boston, and goes, "Oh, now he's a comic." I remember you telling me about Gavin which was a proud moment as it should be because Gavin's so brilliantly funny.
Yeah,
and he
Don
said,
Gavin.
I don't like following you. And that must have been a happy moment for you.
Yes, he mentioned two people, and you're right. I'd only been in the business probably at that point, maybe 7-8 years, I think.
Right.
And he said, there's two guys that I don't want to go on after you and Lenny.
Right.
I mean, Lenny's an icon in Boston.
Sure.
And, so
Yeah.
but
that's, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking life changing. You know, I mean, you've helped so many people. That's what I was talking about. Because you were that guy. You said you used to wake up on a subway and you'd be in Pennsylvania.
I used to wake up out of state. I would wake up out of state and go, oh no, how am I going to get back? It happened to me all the time. I would wake up in the worst neighborhoods in Orange, New Jersey, and just everywhere. But I mean,
did you say Orange, New Jersey?
Yeah.
What, do you wake up in the basement of Rascals?
That's West Orange.
That's West Orange.
I'd be in East
Orange
Orange.
is horrible. You're
East
right.
Orange.
Yeah.
And I wake up in the projects and have no money to get home. So it was like the worst. But also, that was before I did comedy. I did comedy because I was so aggravated that I told you my famous story about the time I did comedy when I first decided to stop, but I was still drinking. And then I woke up.
You first decided to stop?
To start comedy.
To start comedy.
And I went to get a number at the Improv. And then they wouldn't have a number till 3 o'clock. So I said, I better drink a little more, because I'm hungover. I go to the Smith's Bar and Grill. I end up trying to buy speeds because I'm falling asleep. And I'm determined this time I'm going to do comedy. Because you get a number that you get an audition night. It was a Sunday night.
But you're drunk and now you're buying speed.
And it's 2 in the afternoon. But of course, it's fake speed.
It's 2 in the afternoon. Naturally.
Right? Me and this black guy from Times Square were in the hallway. 5 white Irish guys jump in, cops, all with beards, undercover, arrest us. 30 guys arrested, 30 cops. Just imagine a 35th Street station. And we're sitting there, all handcuffed. I'm the only white guy, except for the cops. And we're sitting there like 30 kids. Yeah, and I'm screaming, I got to do comedy. Let me go. I have a set. at the improvisation, because it was a number thing.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember.
And then I finally get up. The guy goes, let's see your act. If you're a cop, one of the cops goes, let's see your act. I get up. I start doing my act. And after about a minute of silence, all the cops are just looking at me. And the brothers are like, damn. And then after a minute, the guy goes, well, we're going to let you go because you said you were a comedian, but now we know you were lying.
And oh my God, that's before you're even an open micer.
I'll give you my opening jokes back then. Folks,
yeah, what was the set in the jail?
I go, my girlfriend, I said, my girlfriend has a face like an angel, a house angel.
I think I heard you do that at Catch when I first moved out.
And I go, actually, Danger's my middle name. Actually, it's my confirmation name.
And they weren't laughing at that?
No.
Those Irish prick cops? How dare they? 866-969-1969. 866-969-1969. I know you folks are in long weekend mode probably, or you're in your cars, but I know you have phones in your fucking cars because every time I pass you, your face is buried in it after you swerve into my lane.
Hey, tell us some of your fun weekend plans. Got any menus?
What do you prefer, coleslaw or potato salad? My wife's from the South. She likes to put the potato salad right on the fucking hot dog like a really uncouth pig. But I remember I came down from Boston, and I don't remember the very first time we met. Do you?
No.
I remember you giving me a bear hug in the lobby of Catch a Rising Star.
I remember that because I was like fat. I was like 240 pounds.
You were with a goatee.
You didn't even recognize me.
I didn't. So I had met you before that.
We must have met before because I knew, when I saw it. I remember seeing you at the cellar going, oh, my God, how funny is this guy? I still remember your whole. I could probably do 5 of your opening minutes, and it was killer. Yeah. I'm still doing it, by the way. If you want to catch that, Seneca, me and Big J. Okerson. There you go.
Next Thursday.
New York, the city that never sleeps. How come I see people passed out all over the place? I have a $400 waterbed. I toss and turn all night. This guy's like, oh, there's a broken Heineken bottle.
Let me tell you, and this is Quinn's advice to me. I talk about what wisdom he has. That night, you bear hugged me from behind, and I don't recognize you. You got the goatee, you put on a few pounds, and we started to talk about hemorrhoids.
Right.
And you go to me, and I thought you were dead serious. You go, well, do what I do. I go, what are you doing? You go, I stand on my head and I put a popsicle on my ass. And I go, really? You're like, no, not really, you asshole.
And that was before Boogie Nights, so I don't want people thinking I stole that from Boogie Nights.
Wait a minute. What was the scene in Boogie Nights?
He goes, like a lollipop in my ass. Some people, remember the guy that's, look.
Who, the Colonel?
No, the other, the new guy with
Philip
the video.
Baker Hall.
Look, Jack, I'm not going to try to tell you how to make a movie. I'm just a simple man. I like this, and popsicle in my ass. Or something like that.
That's what you said to me. With a dead serious look on your face. I see a bunch of numbers up there. I don't see any names. Are they on there, Brendan?
He's getting them.
Let's go to
Brendan, you have an Irish guy doing the phone?
Oh, this Kentucky Irish.
Oh, Jesus. Who ever heard of such a thing?
He mentioned Cincinnati and Kentucky, and
Kentucky, huh?
It pissed me off.
I have news for your career. One and done.
Let's go to Dave.
John Calipari.
Let's go to Dave on line 2 in New Hampshire. Dave, say hi to Colin Quinn.
Colin Quinn, how are you?
Hi, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing all right. You guys are killing me with the Irish stuff because I'm Irish and Italian, so you're confusing the shit out of me here.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that. What do you guys think? I mean, I was a big Rickles fan. I love Rickles. Even though, he's a little bit out of my generational gap, so to speak, but I was a big fan. What do you guys feel like the impact of him through comedy over the years?
Yeah, I mean, he was his impact. It's funny because if he'd come around now, people would be like, "Well, there's somebody you should never ever book." There'd be protests, boycotts. He would not be working in comedy, but of course he started that whole style, which is like, yeah. Okay, good. Like that whole cadence that everybody in comedy uses sometimes.
That's right.
Forget
That's
about
right.
the insult jokes. He's like, what was that? What? And even calling people sir with like that sarcastic, like, sorry, yeah, okay, miss. Like that kind of started with Rickles, right?
That's right. It's the rhythm more than the actual insults.
And and also I feel like, I mean, I'm sure other people did it first, but the one he used to go like this, is that your wife? And then he goes, oh, like he would look away. Like that move.
That's right.
I mean, I'm sure it was done by other people.
It's not a spit take. It's a version of the
right.
spit
It's almost
take.
like, whoa, like he wants to take a breath. Like I need a minute to recover from her ugliness,
Thanks, Dave, for the call. There's a couple of things that Rickles did that stick out. I see, you could probably go find this online. He goes up into the audience when Johnny Carson show, and he grabs the mic and he's interviewing people. And he goes, "Stand up, kid." This kid stands up. He's got the worst acne you've ever seen in your life. Rickles goes, "How long you had the problem?" And then he goes, "What are you, Mexican?" The kid goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Here's some mud. Go finish your house." So he makes fun of his acne and then makes a Mexican joke. You'd be jailed in a Turkish prison today if you fucking did that. And it murdered, by the way, because we had a sense of humor back then.
Right. But even then, it was politically correct because at the end of his act, I kid a lot of different kinds of people. He'd always give this speech, right?
I guess so.
I joke with everybody. Remember? He had a famous line. He goes, I kid people, but we need all these people. We need the blacks. We need the whites. We need the Puerto Ricans. Why? Why do we need the Puerto Ricans? That's how he used to.
That's right.
That's what he used to say. But he was, he'd always apologize.
And if you want to see Rickles at his best, so get those Dean Martin roasts too. There's some, he steals the show every time.
And they said he used to not even work on material. He would just come up and free associate.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing. I don't buy it, but it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, it's like that,
the legend.
Robin Williams had, 10 jokes about yellow sweaters, and you know what I mean? People go, "Wow, he came up with that fucking." Well, he's done 1,000 shows a week. Yeah, he fucking probably saw a yellow sweater at the last show, and as a comedian, he might have put that in the back of his mind for the next time he saw a yellow sweater.
Looks like Tweety Bird on acid.
Let's go to Max in Louisiana. Max, say hello to Colin Quinn.
Hey, Colin.
Who is it? Max Cady?
No, Matt, but he's supposed to be Matt, but he didn't hear me right.
Oh, okay, that's all right. It's hard the phones suck here.
It's hard, Louisiana.
Go ahead, Matt, with a T.
No, I was just, it's so weird to be talking to both of y'all. I happened to be getting on a tough crowd kick before I left to go visit my cousins here for the weekend. I couldn't believe the stuff, how bad, I wouldn't say bad, but how raw.
I know.
That show was back the day, but you can't get away with that no more. It's so freaking, just to say politically correct. It's a shame. It was just jokes, for Christ's sake.
I know. And if we said that today, you're right. We'd trend on Twitter for 2 days, and then we'd be canceled.
Would we be canceled?
Yes.
Well, how do you?
What would Comedy Central do if suddenly people started boycotting their advertisers? What would they do? They'd cancel.
No, I guess my question is, okay, so what's the answer to fighting back? Is our fucking world ruled by the advertising? I know it is, sort of, but there's no answer to that? Do I have to get physical with somebody?
Cash rules everything around me.
Thanks, Max. What?
I was going to say, I couldn't help but remember one of the things Nick said to Patrice there. He said you look like a burnt muffin when y'all were going back and forth with each other.
Yeah.
Did I say that?
Oh, yeah, we'd all...
I'd kick myself off the air for that comment today. Thanks.
But no, I mean, I was just one other thing, since it is Memorial Day weekend. I did notice something with in the group of y'all, how tight y'all had like the camaraderie with each other, where y'all could just mess with each other, and it was just jokes. Nobody got offended.
Exactly.
It's kind of like the troops. Y'all have that camaraderie where you understand.
Yeah, it's called It's called male bonding, which is illegal today.
Yeah. Right.
By the way, whether it's on a football team or in a fucking foxhole or at a radio show, we can't have that type of
that kind of roughhouse talk.
Thank you, Max, for the call.
Thank you, Max.
Yeah. No, exactly. And Matt, exactly. And Colin, that's what Colin's genius is. We were sitting around the Comedy Cellar table for years busting each other's balls. Yeah. And Colin's like, Jesus Christ, all this gold is going to waste. And
well, what it was actually was I used to walk down whenever we go to the bathroom, because the Comedy Cellar still has a conveniently located bathroom. And every night, as political correctness started to encroach, this was when it was encroaching, probably 2002.
Yeah.
And I noticed it was just getting more and more like people in other outlets of media were like, well, that's kind of offensive. And then I'd walk through the cellar and every comedian would be up there, you, Patrice, whoever, everybody. Norton.
At the table, you mean? On stage?
On stage.
Okay.
And I'm walking in the bathroom and I go, look, they're saying these jokes and they're saying what they really feel, and people are laughing. 99% of these people are laughing, because they know this is what comedy's supposed to be. So I was like, I wanted to try to translate that reality onto the air.
So you actually came up with it downstairs.
That walking through to the bathroom every night. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm hearing all these media outlets say one thing, and yet I'm seeing all the average people coming to a comedy club and the comedians saying another. That's what it was.
Yeah, and you put it together and did something with that. Probably made that observation 1,000 times and never thought of turning into a fucking hit show.
Yeah.
There you go. Speaking of that bathroom at the Comedy Cellar, this is my favorite Comedy Cellar bathroom story. I'm on stage. Colin comes in, walks by to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm up there doing my jokes. She come out of the bathroom. He's got his shirt off, tied around his head. Remember you had your...
And I used to always come down with my pants around my ankles, too.
Let's go to Gabe in Ohio on line 2. Gabe, welcome to the Nick DiPaolo Show. Say hi to Colin Quinn.
Hello, Mr. Quinn.
Hi, Gabe.
Hey, Nick. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Gabe?
All I have to say is thank Jesus you're finally on the radio. It's wonderful to hear you. You're great on the radio. And I'm a Jew, so if I'm thanking Jesus, it's a miracle.
That's my type of caller right there. A Jew living in Ohio. What happened?
Yeah, well, that's where I ended up. My dad was in the service, so that's where he ended up. So
there you go.
Service?
Well,
catering?
Air Force. Yeah. Well, it's either going to be catering, jewelry, or banking. One of those three. That's what we dominate in. So it's not sports. So,
well, the agents. You got the agents.
Yeah. What about Ohio's favorite Jewish athlete, Bernie Kosar?
Well, he doesn't do very good with money, so we disowned him. So. So it's great hearing you two together. It's always good to hear, or when Norton's around, to hear you guys tell stories. I think that's one of my favorite things when you comedians are on one of the shows and you're just telling stories about being at Caroline's or something like that. It's great hearing you guys bust balls and stuff like that. That's the best part. When you're not, you guys do great shows. It's great senior specials, but I think you guys are at your funniest when you're just telling stories, busting each other's balls, and that's the best part, just hearing you guys talk about comedy. You have a real respect for comedy, and you show it by just going after each other, but you all respect comedy, and it's great to hear that. You talk about people from the past, You talk about the young guys, like you just talked about Joe List and how he made a turnaround. And it's just wonderful hearing you guys talk about it. It's comedy. It's the one thing that should not be censored. We all have things in our life that we're sensitive about.
That's right.
You should be able to laugh about it. And it's just wonderful that there's people like you, Colin, Norton. Although Norton's got, Norton has his own personal demons, but he talks about them. He's honest about them.
There's nothing wrong with hookah urine.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm worried about him in Europe. I'm hoping he makes it back. But,
I know.
But
he's
honest about his demons.
That's right. He's always been
refreshing.
But I picture him, yeah.
Well, it's hard not to be honest about your demons when it's fucking hot hookers.
I picture him. I picture him right now in Norway with like a tranny that looks like Dolph Lundgren, like 6'6", genius IQ, just manhandling him all over all over the Ice Hotel.
Hey, Gabe, thanks for the call, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks for being on there. I love it that you're here and looking forward to a long time of the radio.
I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Gabe.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah. Boy, tough crowd. You don't go a day without. I'm sure you don't, but my God, every day. Twitter, that question just pops up, and
Sure.
It's like.
Well, it was one of those interesting things too, because it was like what I thought. Well, I'll tell you what I thought. Thought was. You know what? Everybody always says, we want TV to be not phony. We want it to be authentic, warts and all. You know what I mean? And so I was like, all right, this is good. You know what I mean? Guys like yourself, Patrice, you guys aren't going to sugarcoat things. You couldn't if you tried. And neither could he. And I was like, this is the kind of thing people want. They want people that are being funny, even at the expense of like, I'm not trying to win you over with likability and you'll laugh at me for that reason, And so I just thought there was something about nobody barely wrote jokes. You go up there and free associate
That's right.
It was a difficult show for everybody to be on. Tougher for them than me. And but it was but apparently the people that didn't like it had a lot stronger voice than the people that did like it.
Yeah, we know who they are.
Yeah.
But it's funny you say that because I remember Geraldo coming into the green room and I'm writing in my notebook like 5 minutes before showtime. And like maybe 10 minutes, and he goes, "Oh, the Paulie, he's so fucking competitive, blah, 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 blah." And I go, "Yeah, whatever. I'm just fucking, Yeah. And then it's almost showtime. I'm going down the stairs. He's under the staircase, fucking jotting away.
Sure.
3 minutes after me, I catch him right in his notebook, and
right.
And then it really was like a locker room. I remember Keith Robinson coming into the green room. He's got a plate with a sandwich and chips on it, and fucking Norton just slaps it out of his hand. And then cuts the most horrendous fart. And we have guests there,
I know.
Fucking Pat Cooper's like, "Oh, shit in here." And Norton's just standing there with his grin on his face, and there's a sandwich on the floor. And this doesn't happen on the Fallon show anymore.
What Gabe said about, like, respect for old, like, Pat Cooper and the way he got along, like, with everybody was kind of an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
He was just that guy.
Cool. Oh, Pat?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was one of us.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he was fucking...
he was a bullbuster.
He was sleeping on the couch in the green room when I came in.
He was.
And I woke him up and he fucking, picture him waking him out of a nap, how cranky he was. Then he starts fucking... He starts saying how comedians aren't respected. We started talking, And he was so fucking... You assholes work for nothing. Some of you guys do sets for nothing. You should never work for fucking nothing. And
That's correct. You got to get paid.
All right, we got to take a break. The great Colin Quinn is going to stay here and call in and say hi to Colin. 866-969-1969. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. We'll be back after this. That's from which one?
Long story short.
Long story short.
Long story short.
He's got two streaming right now on Netflix. New York Story and Unconstitutional. You can follow Colin on his Twitter at I am Colin Quinn. And I was talking about before we brought you in, watching you down at the Fat Black Pussycat. You want to watch somebody, come up with this type of gold and what you have to go through to get it.
Isn't it? Didn't you think it would be easier when we got older? I mean, it's a little easier, but don't you agree that the amount of work you do, it's like, Jesus, a new hour.
Yeah, if I knew this, I would have kept selling steak and seafood door to door out of the back of an Isuzu pickup truck. Who the fuck needs this type of pressure?
I still I still love that you were all over New England selling that stuff.
Oh, yeah. I knocked on Cyndi Lauper's door in Cape Cod on a Friday night.
What?
And this is 1986 when she was huge.
She was huge.
Yeah. She fucking bought like a box of shrimp. Couldn't have been nicer.
Yeah, she probably wanted to bang you.
Yeah, well, I couldn't at the time. I had a boyfriend. But
She's like, hi, how are you? Come on in.
I don't remember how
She had the greatest New York accent. She's from Ozone Park.
Oh, is that where she's from?
Yeah.
No kidding.
She's from Ozone Park. You know who's from there? All the good. That's the good. We're good
All
fellas.
the good fellas. Yes.
The Ozone Park boys.
My wife is obsessed with mobsters. Colin knows this. She actually has a tour she takes her friends on when they come to New York of like Murder Inc. She knows where all the diner was that they shot the scene in, where this guy got whacked, that guy got like. Well, I've never been on it. We're not that close. But
by the way, when you were playing that song, "Call Me," at the beginning of this segment,
yes,
the Blondie song. And it reminded me in 1981, probably, right when that movie, when Richard Gere was like the hottest actor in the world. I was with this girl, and we were dating.
First of all, that's a lie. I know what you're doing in 81. You were still on drugs.
By the way, yeah, but I was all messed up, but she liked me for whatever reason, her own thing. And then we went out, and she, what's that from?
Oh, it's Tony Soprano.
Tony Soprano. Go ahead. So we went to this place around the corner. She had an apartment. Like in those days, you get an apartment in Manhattan, right on Soho, right off Prince Street by Raoul's, a big restaurant. And she had like an apartment for like $230 for a whole big 2-bedroom. And then we went to Richard Gere. I walked away for like 2 minutes. We went to this bar. Richard Gere's hitting on her. I come back. I go, hey, what's going on? And she's like, at the height of his fame, he's hitting on her. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, no, I'm with you. And I was like, oh. And even I go to her, what are you doing? Go. I tried to convince her. I was like, what are you doing? This is not going to work out. Like, why are you wasting? This could be the night of her life. And I bet to this day she probably is like, you know what? What an idiot I was.
Was this prior to MTV or after?
Oh, way prior.
Way prior.
It's like 1981.
I got my dates are all fucked up. But that's weird you say that Richard Gere hit on.
Yes.
Was it in a restaurant, you said?
Yeah.
Because I read, up in Westchester a couple years ago, he fucking was hitting on some lawyer's wife or something.
He was?
Yes, it was in the paper. This fucking snake.
He never stops.
Yeah, what the fuck? I mean...
He's a fan.
No, I don't know. I'm not making any judgment.
They used to try to say Richard Gere is gay. It's the biggest lie of all time.
Oh, bullshit. I'd pay $50 to lick his thumbs today. You with me?
Yes.
Let's go to what is it, Ron on line 5. Ron, welcome to the show. Say hi to the great Colin Quinn. Your sister's box, Ron. I hope it's filled with cheese.
Why is he playing that?
I don't know. He does it all the time.
Hey, Ron.
Brendan's got to learn his voice.
Let's go to Brian in North Carolina. Brian.
How you doing, gentlemen?
What's happening?
Hey, I just wanted to say congrats on the new radio show. It's awesome. I'm glad to hear somebody on the right side finally getting a voice.
Thank you, bro.
I wanted to ask Colin a couple of questions. Actually, you guys kind of hit on it already, but have you or anybody from Comedy Central or any other station approached you about trying to rekindle the whole the same show that you were doing before, or something similar to that, where you got a bunch of comedians just crushing each other? I used to listen to Opie and Anthony and listening to you and Patrice and Norton and Nick and all of those guys just destroying each other almost to tears, and it was the best part of the show every time it was on the radio. So is there any way to get that on TV, whether it be on FX or HBO or something where people actually have to pay for it and there isn't advertising that holds you back?
Well, no, because the people that, for the most part, the people that are going to make those decisions don't want the blowback that happens when you're brutally honest. I mean, it's all very, it's just that kind of raw honesty and emotion and spontaneity. It's no place for it in today's show business.
Even without advertisers.
Even without advertisers, of course, because it's how it is.
There's no money really on the internet.
There's a very manufactured kind of edginess. I said this, by the way, during the days of Tough Crowd, but I'll say it again because nobody seemed to care then, and they'll care less now. But there's there's like a substitute shock that goes on. So people say things because the audience and the performers want to feel edgy and shocking.
Give an example of fake shock. I know you've talked about this before.
I know, but I never have a good example. But
Thanks for the call, Brian.
Any show that where it's like they'll talk like people will. I can't think of any shows off the top of my head, but I'm saying a show that'll be like totally bloody or totally like, wow, you really pushed the envelope with like, the amount of like ripped up insides of an innocent family. And it's like, that's not what offends people. That's not going to get you blowback. But people speaking honestly, racially, ethnically, gender, that kind of stuff is what blowback would look like. So it's like people are like, oh, this is going to be like these people like to still pretend there's this huge Christian monolithic, and it's like, I know that was true in the 80s, right? But it's not true today. So it's like, oh, we're gonna get in trouble with the League of Decency. It's like, oh, it's not 1930. The League of Decency has changed what they look like now. Okay, yeah, and now they look professorial. They come out of UMass Amherst. So it's like people still want to believe. So there's a whole like a veneer of like just. Where you're living, people are setting up a fake reality to say, okay, we're going to push the envelope. And it's like, that's fine what you're doing. It's not pushing the envelope as far as you're not going to get in trouble for that.
It's so PC that people, when they wander into, a comic wanders into the subject of race, even if they're being PC about it, it's considered edgy because they're talking about race. Sure. Which wasn't the case,
Sure.
Which makes me laugh.
Well, it makes people become very calculated because suddenly everyone's like, okay, I'm going to have to say this. And it's sort of like, okay, it's almost like, just saying here, I'm speaking from the right side of things. Now I'm going to say something. And it's just not very authentic,
Well, yeah, and I always bring up Tracy Morgan. Because people call in and they'll say, "Oh, you comics can't say anything," and I go, "Well, no, us white straight male comics are a little more restricted than most." Sure. I mean, Tracy Morgan, who I love, I think he's funny as hell and nuts, and I really think he's hilarious. But when he actually said, "If I had a gay baby, I'd kill it," and that really slowed his career down for about 11 seconds. Whereas if you said it, somebody at your level, you're fucking finished.
Right.
So that's the difference.
I wish somebody is, but
huh? What?
Nothing. I said I'm half finished as it is. I don't even have to say that. So yeah, what the guy's saying is kind of like I understand what he's saying, which of course we love that kind of spontaneous kind of badass. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you can't really. It just wouldn't. It wouldn't be allowed to fly today.
Let's go to Nick in San Diego on line 2. What's going on, Nick? Welcome to the show. Say hi to Quinn.
Quinn, you're my favorite, man.
Thanks, Nick.
Love the show, Nick. And by the way, the guy who's calling with the harmonica, his name is Radio Shark. He fucked with Ron and Fez for like 10 years with the same bit.
Yeah, I hope his sister dies in his sleep.
Hopefully.
Maybe he'll swallow that harmonica accidentally and it'll get caught in his esophagus.
I just wanted to ask both of you guys. Patrice is my favorite comic ever.
The greatest.
My favorite comic alive.
We love him.
And I just want to know if either one of you have any updates. I know it's not your thing, but I figured you got interviewed for that Better Than You documentary that's supposed to be coming out, man.
Yeah, we did. I remember did you get interviewed for something? I've done a couple things.
We got interviewed a couple of times.
I was so excited when I heard about it because like the more people to find out about him is like, he's just the greatest, man. I'll still listen to old clips of him. Anything I can find is like, I wish more people knew about him. And when I saw that, I got excited about it, but it seems like it kind of died.
But guess what? You shouldn't care because now if it does become out, a bunch of idiots that are front runners are going to go, hey, man, we heard this guy. And then you'll be like, no, I knew him years ago. And then they won't really be listening. You'll be like, no, you can't like him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel that way. I feel that way already. But I
feel that way already.
It's hard. Even with you, man. You're the greatest. By the way, I went inside at the Barclays Center in Irvine a couple of years ago. Unconstitutional. You ever going to play that theater again?
Oh yeah, thanks. That was good. Yeah, I'll definitely come back there.
Hell yeah.
I don't know when, but I loved it. I loved it. Yeah.
I love you both.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, Casey in Pennsylvania on line 4. Casey, welcome to the show.
Is it KC or Casey?
Casey.
All right.
Casey, I guess.
Casey.
Here you go.
Whoa.
You guys are good. Love the show.
Thank you, Casey.
I've heard it before on the O&A show where the backlash, if you just ignore it, it goes away. Is that true in comedy, or that can't happen that way?
What back? Who says that on O&A? Who's the dummy on there that said that? Yeah, it really went away for O&A. I noticed that.
That's ignorant.
Casey.
Mr. Quinn, please.
But Casey, listen to me for a second. Did the backlash go away on O&A? Think about it, right?
I mean, like with the advertisers.
That's ignorant.
Well, I'm just saying, it's obviously it affected their whole show, the backlash. That didn't go away.
Why? What happened?
You didn't hear the news, Nick, but
I mean, like with the advertisers, when they get called out on something that's wrong in somebody's eyes, if they would just ignore them, they would go away.
Yeah, but
why can't that happen in comedy?
Well, because no, it's not that it happens in comedy. I'm saying it's the advertisers that then affect what gets paid for. So then people don't get to see the person. So we still do what we do. I mean, if you go see Nick, you go see me. We do what we do. Nobody's going to tell us what to say on stage. But I'm just saying, as far as getting major,
You're talking about TV, radio, medium,
that's
where advertising is involved.
Yeah.
That shit's not going to go away. Not today.
No.
The show will go away.
Yeah.
I'll be brutally honest with you guys. When I go to see a comedian, that's what I want to see is brutal honesty. I've seen Mr. James Norton. I've seen Mr. Jim Brewer. I'd love to see you two in Erie at Juniors. It's a great club. We'd love to have you there. I want to come see honesty. I want you to make me laugh, and God damn it, you guys make me laugh.
Thanks.
That's what I want to see.
Thanks, Cage.
Thanks.
You guys have a good day.
All right. And that's why you should come out, because stand-up comedy clubs are one of the few places left. That's not a cliche.
No, it is the last place left.
It's the last place left.
And that's the beauty of it.
And that's starting to change a little bit, by the way. Because here's why.
Yeah.
You got people running clubs now who have come of age in this PC fucking horseshit and have ingested it. I've heard of this club in Wisconsin. I'm not going to mention it, but somebody was sent home from there. They gave him some bullshit reason, friend of ours, and then they found out later on that it was about a rape joke or something.
Exactly.
And this is the new. You know what I'm saying? Because the people, the managers running it, have come of age in this and ingested this horse shit. But that's no excuse. How do you not know about the First Amendment and you're running a comedy club? Why wouldn't you defend the fucking artist?
I know. Well, I know that club you talk about. It's John Brockington's Ha Ha House in Green Bay. And I'll tell you right now.
Please, somebody got to be from Wisconsin. we got to go to David in Santa Monica because I mentioned a character that you wanted me to do, and I think David heard about it. Dave, say hi to Colin Quinn.
Colin, you're great. Nick, you're great. A big fan. Nick, you told a story one time about how Colin gave you advice to play a character on stage called Don Corrado with like a sweater with like lightning bolts on the side or something like that.
A turtleneck. A black turtleneck with lightning bolts.
Come out there like one of those, like, those.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert.
It's like the Italian guy that he's from like the family that's,
Don Corrado.
By Bensonhurst, but then he moved to the Upper East Side. He's like a martial arts guy, but he's also like a sophisticated guy. He's not a restaurateur. He's got the one brother who's like the gay hairdresser, and then he's got the other brother who's a restaurateur, and this guy works in like
wait a minute.
Advertising.
You're describing the owners of Uncle Minnie's.
Great idea.
Who the fuck said that? Who's the slimy little communist shit twinkle-toed cocksucker down here who just signed his own death warrant?
That was Jerry and Dino.
It was Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, that was Jerry losing his shit at a show on the Beacon the other night. And
but
all right, David, thank you.
But at this point, it's so funny because even complaining about political correctness, it means nothing.
I know.
It just becomes, it's almost hack, but what are we supposed to do? Pretend it's not real? I mean, it's real. So it's like, I'm not going to pretend it's not happening. Even though I know people are like, oh, you always complain about that, but it's like, guess what? It's a little repetitive. I understand, but it is a real thing.
But there are, like, and I actually defend millennials now because everybody wants to pin it on them and shit.
No,
there's a lot of young kids who are sick of this shit.
Of course, it's not them.
No. But they get the brunt of it, all the snowflakes. And I mean, there's some of them.
Yeah.
But the people that come out of the comedy clubs to see us or whatever, I give these guys, Tempe, Arizona, I told you, is a table of Latinos. They couldn't have been more than in their early 20s at the most. They found Tough Crowd online.
They love it.
And, you know what I mean? So, that's the reason Trump won, okay?
I never met any black or Latino person that didn't love Tough Crowd.
Exactly.
They didn't care what was being said. People like honesty, and that show was honest and funny, and that was it. I mean, it was that simple. Whatever anybody wants to say, it was always honest. It was mostly spontaneous, and it was funny. I mean, there was a lot of laughs every episode, and that's means you're doing what you say you're going to do, which is make a comedy show. It's going to be funny.
Well, I remember reading an interview. I don't know what magazine they were talking to you. This is when Tough Crowd was on. I think it was during Tough Crowd.
I remember.
And somebody said
it was Hustler.
Somebody said it was. Oh, the guys. Some of them sound a little racist, and they get angry. And you go, yeah, sound like the human. That's what you said.
I remember it was for Inspire, the Islamic Al Qaeda magazine. Isn't that what it's called?
Yes. What, are you kidding me? I got a copy. Andy, show him the copy. I'm going to make a bomb out of a toaster oven. Hold on. Inspire. Holy shit. How do you...
That was a good one. I pulled that out of my ass.
Unbelievable. It's not the first thing he has, folks. I've been around this guy a long time, I'll tell you. Let's go to Mark in Brooklyn. Mark, say hi to Colin from Brooklyn.
Hi, Nick. Hi, Colin. How are you?
Hi, Mark.
Congrats to Nick on the great show.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask Colin, I love your specials, and especially the way that you combine an actual narrative through the show with humor. That's one of the reasons I got into liking Eddie Izzard, if you know of that guy. So I was just wondering if you had specific ideas that drove you to make that type of show, or maybe influences that kind of took you in this direction.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I felt like I wanted to, with the first one was a long story short, but I felt like all comedy, when you think about a joke, it's sort of a little solution. Like you're solving something. Yeah. So it's like a mini narrative. So I just wanted to put it in a big narrative. You know what I mean? And I saw Eddie Izzard, and I said, I
can't tell if he's being serious.
But no, I did see Eddie Izzard.
Right.
He does do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He did it before I did. So I watched him, and I met him at a lingerie exhibit. No, but he does do that. He does do that same thing. But yeah, I wanted to just do stuff that was more thematic, just because I felt like doing something different.
Well, there you go.
And it sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Intelligent caller from Brooklyn. Brooklyn, they know.
Oh yeah,
they know their arts and shit. Brooklyn, I saw Toady Fields. I tried to do the same thing. If I can self-contained, I was 14. I couldn't get the shit together. But but it's you got to go see his one-man shows. And like I said, there's a lot of comics putting an hour out there every 12 months. And I mean, it looks like you crushed it. Sometimes a few of them, it looks like. But to go to the Fat Black Pussycat, what do they call it? The Comedy Lounge? It's around the corner from the
Fat
Comedy
Black
Zone.
Pussycat.
Yeah, and watch the Master. And your first one man thing was the Wake one. What was it called?
Irish Wake. Yeah,
Irish Wake. But
Nick saw it. It was called Seven Sacraments when you saw it.
Seven Sacraments. I was watching it when it was off Broadway.
Yep.
I had never seen a self-contained show like that.
Right.
I knew Colin as a brilliant stand-up. I had never seen anybody, and I'd go back, and to the point where when it finally went on, Colin was like, "You're gonna pay this time." I must have went 11 times.
Yeah.
But there would be. I would watch a bit turn into a, it would just be fleshed out. And I had never seen anything like that. I'd never seen a comic, do something of that, you know what I mean, that had some weight to it and import.
But you know what the funny thing was? Like that show, at the time, I was using all this great music like The Who, Frank Sinatra, but I wasn't paying a dime. And you're not supposed
to do that now?
You couldn't do that then?
No.
But all I did was better ask forgiveness and permission.
Better watch out. Some guys from Sony love the show.
I know. Well, that's the thing. I was saying it's serious. If they backed your shows, they could use any music. Like that's how
true.
MTV was. MTV was the same way. You could use any song anytime, and nobody would mess with MTV.
Yeah.
Because they were like, hey, my artist is getting played on MTV. I'm not going to say anything stupid, you know?
Yeah.
Same thing with Sirius. And it's so funny because I used all this music, and it was like, if that had been filmed, God knows what it would have cost.
You'd be surprised. We get in trouble here, too. My agent got an angry call from the manager of Men Without Hats. They were fucking furious. I'll tell you. Look at the phones light up. Everybody loves Quinn. They know the real deal is what they know. Let's go to Mike in Connecticut, line 2. Mike, say hi to Colin.
Colin, Nikki, how are you guys?
What's going on, Mike?
Dude, I've been watching you guys since Tough Crowd. You guys are fucking hilarious. Nikki, I came to see you at Bobby V's.
Oh,
a few weeks back.
Oh,
You were
yeah.
fucking great as always.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that was my third time I've seen you. I brought one of my buddies, and that was the first time he saw you. The kid was in fucking tears.
Oh, good. Thank you, Mike.
But dude, this is the real deal right here. This is such a fucking great Friday show. I've been listening to your podcast since you first started.
Wow, thank you.
Listening to you two guys, dude, this is the real deal. If you guys, this is a great show. Doing good.
You got a question for Colin?
Colin, not really.
Well, I'll do my Reagan impression then. Well,
thanks, Mike. Mike.
If he comes sees me when I'm at that club, I'll be like, well, yeah. There's a lot of those clubs up there in Connecticut.
Well, Brad Axelrod gigs.
I know.
If you want to do them,
look,
you want to play
why
a vinyl sign with Underdog behind it, go right ahead. No, they're actually good. You know what? They're one-nighters, but they are. He packs them out.
Yeah.
The money's decent. And, again, you're on Netflix. You got 2 things running on Netflix. You don't have to worry about that.
You'd be surprised.
Huh? Colin does a great fucking De Niro in Cape Fear. Let's listen. This is Colin doing...
I am like God, and God like me. I am as large as God. He is as small as I. He cannot above me, nor I beneath him be. Salasius, 17th century.
That was Colin at Gotham Comedy Club.
Counselor.
Okay, that was unnecessary. I just saw the button. I
know. Why did you do that? Because that was, folks, for those who didn't know, that was Jeff Foxworthy's his first open mic before he got the whole redneck thing going.
You think Foxworthy, you're getting a heckle? You think you're better than me? No, I don't think I'm better than you. That's my Nolte.
That's good.
You know, that's good. I do it to my wife every day. No, I don't think I'm better than you. Let's go to... Andy, I'm kidding, honey. I love you. I'll give you a few zingers the first hour of the show, but she's listening right now.
He's like LaMotta. Come on, honey. Let's make up.
Come on, truce, honey.
Let's make up.
Come on. You call those carrots? Oh, fucking. Let's go to Jack in Pittsburgh. Jack, say hi to Colin Quinn.
Is this Jack Ham?
No, Lambert.
Oh, Jack.
It's Zach, actually, with a Z.
Oh, okay, Zach. We can't. We have bad phones.
The cradle of quarterbacks.
With the caller guy, he's on a black rotary phone. Go ahead.
We got a lot of them there in Pittsburgh. Actually, that KC guy's right. Actually, you guys try to get the JRs. I actually got the owner's cell number. Is Matt still your agent there, Nick?
Yes, he is.
I'll email that to him because a couple months ago, a buddy of mine runs a room in Altoona, PA, about once a month, and he made that statement about wanting to do shows one night, seat 300-400 people. That's kind of up our alley there, but we couldn't really come together on the money. But I still have his email too. So
okay,
I'd love to drive up there and see about both you guys. But when I was calling in, I feel like a douchebag, man. One of my best friends moved, got a job in Manhattan, and lived in Jersey City. So I drive out there, visit him every once in a while. And the first place we would go was the Comedy Cellar. And a lot of times I'd have to drive out during the week for my work schedule. So one Wednesday night, Colin was there, and I was stoked. I'm a big fan and wanted to see him, and it's great, it's a small venue. So, of course, it's me, small-town kid in the big city. Of course, I get drunk. And at the time, I was actually a world champion powerlifter. I woke up every morning, ate a bowl of D-ball, weighed like 285 pounds with no neck. So after his set, he gets off, and I stand up and start clapping, which nobody else is doing because they probably see him there, every week.
Hey, when are you gonna publish your story? Jesus Christ, you're like fucking my wife on coke.
Poor Colin walks by me with this most disgusting look on the face, like, who's this asshole? And he just kind of smiles at me and pats me at the back and sprints away. And they sobered up. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy thinks I'm the biggest idiot in the fucking world. But I love you guys, man. So
thank you, Jack.
Thanks, Jack.
Colin, man.
Appreciate it, brother.
Guys.
That was terrific.
I think we should punch Jack when we see him in Altoona. I don't care if he's 285. He's probably a lineman for one of those teams where 3 guys play for the pros, He's like the Tim Rosevich of Altoona.
That's what I like to do.
Polish.
That's what I want to do to him.
Russian.
Get upstairs.
I think you remember that big beast. He's a big boy, yeah.
Who?
Jack.
Which one?
I think the guy we were just talking to. Yeah.
Yeah. We met a few up there. Remember Greg Buttle used to come in.
Oh, right.
Fucking.
I think Jack threw a chair at me after my set. That's why I got that look on my face.
Colin, every time Colin would play in Pittsburgh, he'd bring up Brian Sipe or somebody from the Cleveland Browns that they hated. And you can tell it's handed down generation after generation. They're like a 14-year-old kid going, fuck Brian Sipe.
Unbelievable.
In 2011.
Pittsburgh is it. They read the Steelers Digest. I saw an old lady one time sitting on a bench reading the Steelers Digest. And it was summer. And I was like, wow, these people love the Steelers. They don't care about anything.
How about our trip to Youngstown, Ohio?
Oh,
is that one of our favorite gigs of all time or what?
The greatest.
Huh?
Oh, my God.
I actually wrote a short story about it called 9 Hours or something. And, oh, my goodness.
Oh, it was great. And we're sitting there and we had to go to the gas station and load up on our treats before the show.
Colin freaks out because he's the only guy, he says I'm the only guy he knows I'll get like a tuna sub at a gas station.
I can't. By the way, somebody just got very sick from that.
Died.
Yes.
From nacho cheese in California.
See?
Killed him. Yeah, I know.
You gotta be careful. This guy's like a gourmet chef. And then we go to this diner. I go to the bathroom. Remember there was a serial killer in the bathroom when I got out. Remember that? I went to
Yes, the key had a 2x4 on it. Remember?
Yeah. And the guy came with this dark glass. I was like, ah!
Yeah.
He was like a murderer. And then Nick comes out with a tuna sub. I go, you're joking, right? I thought he was doing this as a joke. He had a tuna sub from a gas station.
And I should learn because one of my greatest bits of all time is about getting food poisoning in Milwaukee. And I had a tuna sandwich at LaGuardia, and it's still one of my best bits ever. And I got on the plane, and this is why I didn't blame it on the tuna. It was a JetBlue flight. I had the chicken cordon bleu after the tuna sandwich.
Wow.
So, Jesus, I was playing Russian roulette there with 19 bullets. And, oh, my God. I was shitting and puking at the same time. I was fucking shredded when I left Milwaukee.
And you had a gig?
I had to. Only time in my 29 years I couldn't go on Thursday night.
Wow.
I told you that the guy that ran it, the Comedy Cafe, was a big Samoan biker
Right,
guy.
I remember that, yeah.
And he brought me this Hawaiian thing. He goes, this is my mother's. He came in. He knew I wasn't kidding. The room smelled like puke. I was like shivering.
Right.
My head was soaked. He brought me bananas, applesauce, and a box of popsicles. This is what is like a old Samoan thing because the pectin and the apples, the popsicles rehydrate you and whatever.
Wow.
And it worked. I ate a box of 24 popsicles.
Wow.
And stood on my head, put one on my ass. I remember. But I made it to morning radio the next day. But I wrote a whole bit on it. That was the sickest I have ever been. My teeth, I thought they were going to snap off.
Yeah.
I was chattering. So
Yeah.
horrible. Let's go to Glenn and
Awful. Just awful.
Just yeah, like Hymus. Awful. Fat pig. Glenn in Boston. Say hello to Colin Quinn.
Gentlemen.
Glenn, how are you?
Good. How we doing, guys?
Good. What's your question?
Fine, Ked.
Sorry, my fucking phone. So,
Hey, all right. First off, I've been a fan since Remote Control, Colin. You're the second best thing about that show. Carrie Warner being first.
Oh, of course.
Oh, Mamma Mia.
No, but I want to talk about Saturday Night Live. Honestly, you had a hard time keeping a straight face, buddy. Every episode, every skit I remember watching, you were laughing. Is that why you got canned?
No.
That's Jimmy
that was
Fallon.
actually that was the least of it.
The least of it.
That was the least
fantastic.
of it.
I don't
too
remember
long of
you
a story.
laughing. I don't remember you.
No, I would. I would
Well,
laugh
just
sometimes.
a straight face.
Oh.
You know,
you were always holding it back.
that had nothing to do with it, but I don't think so. Yeah, no, I had a lot.
Well, what was it? Well, what
it's
was
too,
it then?
It's too long of a story to go into right now. It's,
Okay.
I'd have to sit down. I'd have to sit down with you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
In the
Well,
middle
that
of
is
Copley
a
Square and
weekend
just
update. That's a tough seat, anyway.
you know.
That's going to be his next 1 hour special on Netflix called Lawn.
Yeah, Norm didn't fare much better.
Yeah. Well, that's a tough one.
All right, pal.
Hey, love the show. Love the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot. He sounded like you doing a Boston guy.
Thanks a lot.
Colin Quinn used to wander up to Boston, and you still say it's one of your favorite cities.
It is, yeah.
Colin would wander up there and do Nick's Comedy Club back in the day. And
well, Nick's was never my. I mean, I did Nick's, but it was. I told you about that. You know, they
Tony V was the one that was your buddy, though, right? That
Tony
escorted
V.
you.
No.
Oh,
Joe
no?
Yannetti.
Oh, Yannetti. I always confuse my.
Staying at Tony V's house, and but Yannetti was like, yeah, the Boston guy, because I didn't even know the culture. So I'm watching all these kids. Like, if you saw these kids and you're from New York, you're saying, look at these kids heckling. Look at these yuppies in their Izod shirts with their white pants and their deck shoes. You're like, look at these yacht kids.
The meanest fucking deck shoes you've ever.
And I say, they're a little stocky. And like Nick always says, they have the blonde eyebrows and the red
Every
hair.
fight I get in, guy had blonde eyelashes and blonde eyebrows.
I say, they're a little stocky, but they're basically, you know, they're dressed like what I at the time thought, like pink shirts, white pants, these beautiful, perfectly white pants.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, these are like some, I don't know if they're from Harvard or they're coming off the yacht or whatever, the boating club they look like, but they're just these
They were
savage
Southie
kids.
guys.
Yeah, from Southie. And they're like, whoa. And I didn't even understand because I was like, they brought me up. They set me up. I mean, you know. And they're like, here he is. This next guy's from New York. That's my intro. So already I'm dead. That's the whole intro. This next guy from New York, Colin Quinn. And it just turned into a war. And I'm going, I start giving the guys the finger. I go, kiss my ass. Look at these little yuppies. And they're like, oh, then that set them off. And then it got so ugly. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Like you could just.
It was a mean room.
They were ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, we're gonna kick your ass and teach you a lesson. Like 20 guys. And then Joe Yannetti gets up in his cashmere coat, and his camel hair coat, and he goes, folks, I'm from Eastie. Now this is my friend. Now I'm taking him off stage. And him and the bouncer and me walk to the kitchen and just hang out in the kitchen. Because you couldn't walk. If we walked to the crowd, I would have got dropped. I would have got beaten very badly. And then Jonathan Katz told me a story where he said,
oh, God. Imagine him at Nick's.
The same thing happened to me. He goes, he'd done the Tonight Show for the first time. I was just feeling kind of cocky.
Brilliant guy.
Yeah, brilliant guy. And he goes on at Nick's. He said, this is like 2 years before that. And he goes, and they turned on him. So he's just being really snide, and they want to kill him. So he goes in the sound booth, which is behind the stage. And then the owner or the manager comes up and goes, listen, he left. They go, bullshit. He's in that sound booth. He goes, no, there's a door in the sound booth that leads to the outside. He left. He lied to the crowd till they left.
That's where I cut my teeth as a comic. I had to follow Steve Sweeney.
Yeah,
because in Boston, the headliner would be the MC of the show. It's his show. I have to follow, Steve Sweeney, a Boston legend. You know, his natural pace is already too fast. Then he'd do 8 ball of coke before he went on, and he would literally get a standing ovation with his opening 12 minutes, imitating the mayor and shit. And then, let's bring up this guy. He's been doing comedy for about 11 fucking months.
Right.
I go up there and take it in the face. And, Kevin Meaney, another one they had to escort off one night. They wanted to fucking... He's singing this. He's doing the...
I don't care. I don't care.
Picture this in front of red-faced Irish guys that want to...
I don't care. Everybody, I don't care.
Dead silence.
He does not care. I don't care.
And they're sitting there with their arms folded, giving him the finger.
Oh, yeah.
He does not care.
Yeah. I mean,
and they would...
Yeah. Oh, it was so funny. And Sweeney following, Sweeney would do like, here's a guy from, his second vacation. He's in Revere visiting his mother-in-law. And he gets so specific to Boston.
Yes.
And everybody'd be like, yes, that's him. He had it all down, like every block,
He would, and then they'd bring Mike Donovan on, and Mike Donovan would do 20 minutes of sports. Boston sports jokes, and doing the greatest impression of Johnny Most, the Celtics, and he'd be like, Bird drives the lane, and Magic Johnson sticks his leg out like a schoolyard punk and trips him. That fucking asshole. Let me tell you about Magic. And he goes, and Bird slaps Magic in the face. He goes, he must have slapped him really hard. He's got a red mark on his face, and he's a black guy.
Right.
And fucking, he's getting like these standing ovations. Then they bring us new guys up, and we'll take a pounding, but be glad to be working at Knicks.
Of course.
I don't know. We got 20 minutes left. You want to stay? Or you want to? It's up to you.
It's up to you guys.
We want you to stay, obviously.
Stay.
Yeah. Right? You don't have a set or anything downtown?
No.
Good for you. Neither do I. But, all right, we're going to take a break. There's still some people on the line. Hang on there if you'd like to say hi to the legend, Colin Quinn, and we'll be back right after this.
Back to the Nick DiPaolo Show on Sirius XM.
Fucking asshole.
Faction Talk 103.
You sold her some meat.
I like to sell her food. I don't want to fucking... This is a guy show. What's the matter? You out of fucking ABBA?
Girls just want to have fun.
Girls just want to have fun. If you don't believe that, ask my friend.
When you sold her the meat,
yes,
because I'm going to speak for every juvenile pervert.
I was in a wife beater and I had tight red shorts on.
But was she? Did you bring it into the house for her?
Did I bring it into the house for her? Yeah. No, I don't remember that actually. I think she took it at the door.
But did she give you any indication, like, hey, why don't you stop by?
No, Christ, no.
All right.
Matter of fact, she sniffed the shrimp. She goes, "Is this good?" With a real cunty look on her face.
That I believe.
No,
because
she was really nice.
I once had to deliver airline tickets to Bianca Jagger when I was like 18,
seriously,
and she was in this fancy apartment, and I was like, "Wow!"
Deliver airline? Were you working for Henry Hill?
No, I was working.
Did you really?
I had to go get my lucky hat. How about her face? How about
that actress ought to get an Oscar for that. I want to punch her now when I think of it.
She was so sick.
I won't go. I won't do it.
After all that, what did she do? That's the most underrated part of Goodfellas is all the women in his life and the way the way he lied constantly. It's like, you know what? You're nuts, Karen. You know that? Meanwhile, she's totally 100% right. You're crazy, Karen. She's 100% right. And then finally she puts a gun in his face. She goes, "Do you love her?" And he says,
"Do you love her?"
And he's like this, got a gun 2 inches from his forehead. He goes, "I love you." What else are you going to say? Only an idiot would go yes.
And that's why we don't have guns, folks. What the hell? I was going to go into this. Do you hear about this Muslim guy suing Little Caesars? This is true. He's suing Little Caesars Pizza because they served him a pizza. They told him it was called challah pizza.
Right.
They served him a pizza with pepperoni, which has pork in it, obviously.
Oh, Jesus.
And he's looking for $100 million from the chain.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. If that was Saudi Arabia, he would probably get the $100 million.
Of course. Thursday, it was in Detroit Free Press. A lawsuit filed in Wayne County says the pizza sold in the Detroit suburb was labeled challah, and meaning it shouldn't contain pork.
In Dearborn?
Well, where else?
Right.
Absolutely. The lawsuit seeks class action status. It says Mohammed Abazi ordered halal, how do you say it? March 20th, and contained pork. His attorney, Mahid Mahoney, says the lawsuit also aims to deter others from accidentally ordering food that I'm sure that's why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Give me a fucking break, will
His
you?
attorney handled my eye for an eye case, by the way.
Pizza.
The code of Hammurabi.
Pizza.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
You gotta play, you play for that one? The scene with Sean Penn and Mr. Hand.
With the Pete's?
Yeah.
I should have thought of that.
Of course, Mr. Hand is a whole new meeting when your lawyers.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Mr. Stump. Come on, give me a fucking break. Where does this stop, this silliness?
Yeah.
Huh? And it'll probably get something out of it.
You think so?
I do. I really don't. Nobody's going to throw that out.
Render unto Little Caesar what is Little Caesar's.
Let's go to Rick in Wisconsin on line 6. Rick, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys.
Rick.
Hey, when are you guys going to come back to Wisconsin? I mean, we got to have a club or two there that you guys can do.
Yeah, I want to play in front of kids in their 20s coming right off of campus in Wisconsin. They seem very open-minded.
Where's this? There's a club out there?
Yeah, there's one on, isn't that the place in Madison on State Street or something?
Yeah, there's one on State Street. But go to the casinos. They let anything fly there.
That's not a bad idea. I would like to go to a casino.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's the ones in Milwaukee, and there's some up in Wisconsin Dells. They do shows there. Another thing about the PC culture. If you ever do a joke that you feel that the PC people are going to be upset about, just say, hey, it's a joke, not a dick. Don't take it so hard.
It's a joke, not a dick. Don't take it so hard. Colin, if you say that on stage, I will give you $1,000 at the Comedy Cellar. Please. Me and Colin went through a phase where we sat home and made up bad comebacks to hecklers.
Yeah, bland comebacks.
Oh, my God, bland comebacks.
Yeah.
Why don't you put a book out? They were the funniest.
I can't remember those. We had the funniest ones.
And we went through a period we couldn't stop doing it.
Just like the mildest things you could say when people are just going, you suck. And you're like, well, sorry, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but everything just like, oh, you're like, okay, I suck. Great. You know, just like the mildest things, the things that would get you killed in a comedy club. Just like, okay, everybody, looks like the inmates have taken over the asylum. Just like all soccer mom things that you would say, right? Like,
exactly.
Because clubs get very violent.
You think it's easy?
Love the show, guys.
Thanks, brother.
Love the show. Keep up what you're doing.
Thank you, Rick. And I hope Wisconsin comes around. Well, they did for the election, actually. Trump won that one.
What about the Aaron Rodgers?
Well, a matter of fact, you bring that up here. Tyler is another Wisconsin called Tyler who's bringing up Green Bay. Tyler, go ahead.
Hey, guys. Colin, love you.
Thanks.
Nick, love you.
Thank you, brother.
Great show.
Appreciate it.
Say, just kind of, I was going to ask kind of this along the lines of the same question. When are you guys going to come back to Wisconsin? But I was just done getting out of the grocery store, and I saw a woman with a beard, very, very long beard, and I realized you're good. But I wanted to talk about the snowflake culture just very briefly.
Yep.
So if you could get away from Madison or Milwaukee or Green Bay, you'd be glorious. You'd be great. I mean, shit, if you want to come to La Crosse...
Green Bay is politically correct?
Green Bay's PC now?
Well, Appleton, Green Bay, there's a lot over there. Yeah, I mean, absolutely they are.
Yeah.
But if you could get away from that, you'd be fine. And
yeah, but then we'd be getting away from civilization if we get away from that. What am I playing to 3 Indians in a pop tent, for Christ's sake?
There's some great towns outside of those 3 areas in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But I will say, I just wanted to tell you guys, great start to the show. I love it, and I'll be tuning in.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Spread the word. I need the dough. I'm never going to want to do a show without a guest now. I think I'm being spoiled this week. Roland, I give him a list. I give him a list of guests I want, wish list, right? And I didn't meet them all for 1 week. He fucking calls me like on Monday. Every day.
Yeah,
I wanted to spread them out a little bit.
He told me he's going to get you Billy Hayes next week. He has him hanging in his basement. The Midnight Express.
Ow, my neck.
He's beating the bottoms of his feet even as we sit here.
I see guys that look like that all over New York City. Like the guy, the fucking prison
He is a
guy.
big Turk.
That guy was creepy, man.
Yeah, he looks like Roland.
He does. I saw Roland. Yeah, he had 2 like 8-year-old boys. They were in velvet shorts. He was walking them up 6th Avenue real fast.
Billy Eyes.
Oh, God.
Tremendous.
What the hell's going on out here?
Speaking of Wisconsin. Huh? Jesus Christ. Anyhow, what the hell? Yeah, so I had a couple of fuck the stories. I guess we got about fucking 5 minutes left. Might as well stick with it. I didn't want to put,
Yeah.
You really put in a night's work. You didn't expect this, did you? I called Colin about 2 hours ago. Hey, what are you doing?
And then I got jammed up on the subway. By the way, let me tell you, first of all, the guy in the subway next to me was like, first of all, he wasn't homeless, but he was like a homeless guy, but he's had like a new iPhone 7, so obviously he had money from somewhere. He's hitting me with his cane the whole trip by accident. He had a cane.
Old guy?
Yeah, old guy.
And he's hitting you by, he's not blind, not with a blind cane.
Not blind, but he's just like
being an asshole.
No, he's got like a bad leg. But but I was on the subway about a month ago.
Yeah.
This kid is on there, and he's playing a Neil Young song. I forget what it was now. Playing a Neil Young song.
Cinnamon Girl.
So, of course, nobody on the subway is an old white guy that knows the Neil Young song except for me.
Right.
So it was like a song like Cinnamon Girl. So then nobody, and so he's walking by me. So I just give him $5. He didn't even look at me the whole time. And then I give him $5. He literally turns around and goes, see, I knew you being a dick was just a character you play on TV. Son of a
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
I wanted to kill him.
You should have smashed the guitar like Belushi. You should have pulled an Animal House and busted it over his fucking head. Kicked him on the third rail, that motherless fuck.
I'm enraged. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Check off. Should have given him one of these.
What's the idea?
Oh, still the best. Maha.
Smash his fucking face in.
Another Tony clip.
That's the other one you have to play. You have to play.
Oh, that's your favorite. Maha. Yeah.
It's Three Stooges. They go they come bearing gifts. It's sort of a half biblical, half Arabian thing. Oh, it's the greatest.
That's how you know the Stooges are genius. Somebody like Quinn appreciates the Stooges.
Come from the lands of Long and Coney. And from the islands of Long and Coney. Every bit they give him a red. And just, I tell you, my favorite thing about the Stooges is Curly is just literally, Mo is almost trying to protect, it's like the dynamic of the three brothers always makes me laugh.
That's why he breaks it down. You and I are laughing at the crowbar under the nose. He's breaking down the dynamic.
And Larry's the middle child. He's always like, hey, listen, guys, break it. And then Mo just turns to him. I tell you, one time I'm watching and they're playing jacks in halls. Mo's in court. They're all wearing suits.
I remember.
And he comes out, and he's like panicked. Like, at first, when I was a kid, I'm like, oh, what an idiot for hitting these guys. But it's like, it's court. You could go to jail. He goes, what are you doing? And then Curly goes, I'm on threesies. And he goes, here's twosies, and pokes him in the eyes. And Larry's just sitting there, he's not doing anything. And he goes, and here's fivesies, and bitch slaps him right across the face.
What's the idea?
Fivesies for no reason.
Get upstairs.
Fivesies.
It's like listening to Shakespeare talk about the fucking Marx Brothers. Nothing. Shemp was my fucking man. Shemp had the bad skin and the fucking crazy haircut and would do that dance when he put his dukes up. I know everybody was a Curly, but Shemp grew on me.
No, you're right, because Shemp, yeah.
The ugliest mug you've ever seen. He had more confidence than all of them combined.
And he was.
Oh, my fucking...
And he was like Sammy Hagar. He had to replace like a legend.
He did. He had his own tequila, like in 1945. What? Come on, fucking genius. And I like the Marx Brothers. Don't get me wrong. I can appreciate them,
Me too.
But when you're a guy, physical violence, fucking cracking somebody in the face.
And I told you, my cousin Dylan was like Mo when we were little kids. He used to beat us. And they had the three brothers. Mo, Larry, and Kurt was him. My cousin Brendan was like Curly, and Peter was like Larry. And Dylan, Dylan. He was nuts.
Do I know Dylan? I used his umbrella yesterday. I do a gig in Tampa, and Dylan, I come off the stage, I walk by his table, somebody hands me this beautiful umbrella.
Yeah, he's always got a random gift.
And I'm going out the door to come here a couple days ago. It was raining. My wife goes, you're not going to go out with that. I go, why? She goes, it's got like horses and jockeys on it, shit. I go, so what the fuck? So what? He brought me a gift. And then he comes to see me where? It wasn't in Tampa. Up here somewhere?
Up in Albany, too, maybe.
Up in Albany, he comes to see me, comes in the back room, hands me a piece of tinfoil. Like they did back in the 80s with Coke.
God.
I opened it. I thought there was actually going to be Coke in it.
Oh.
Just an empty piece of tinfoil.
Just empty?
Yeah.
Just being funny.
He goes, I won't bother you. I was laying on the couch. Of course, I didn't get up. He walks up. I fucking love that guy. Colin Quinn, thank you so much, brother.
Thanks.
Seriously, you are you are something else, man.
I love it.
And check his specials out on Netflix and go see him at the Fat Black Pussycat, will you? You want to see a master working stuff out? Just tremendous. Thank you to all the callers this week. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend, folks, and we will catch you next week. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.